Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today for week 11 of our Home for the Holidays sampler. And this week I'm sharing two blocks. These are actually the two bonus blocks. I chose a log cabin block for my bonus block, and Chelsi chose a friendship star block for her bonus block. And so we're going to put those both together, and I will actually be showing you both. Chelsi and I used both of these blocks in our quilts, and so you'll get to see all four of our versions of these blocks. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as we have told you earlier, we did add in two block patterns to our sampler that aren't based on projects from the book. And this 18-inch log cabin is one of them. So we will have on the PDF all the directions that you need for making this block. And the reason we did that was just to give you some more variety for your quilt. There is another bonus block, a friendship star, that Chelsi will be sharing. But she chose that one and I chose this one. When we started this project, I said, hey, let's both pick an extra block pattern so that if someone doesn't want to do the English paper piecing, they don't have to, or if they want to sub out the Ohio stars, you know, they don't have to make that one, or however you want to personalize this quilt and make it your own. So the pattern, the PDF, has all the information that you need to make this. This is just one of those blocks that isn't based on a pattern in the book. And just real quickly, the pressing for this is simple. You always press toward the next piece you are adding. So I pressed to the dark and then I added this. Each piece that I added, that is where I press my seam to. So it's easy to follow, to press, and it really, really helps if you also cut all of your strips to begin with to the length mentioned on the PDF. That way you can check yourself as you go and you won't get off or get it a little bit wonky, because you know that if you're off, then you need to check your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So this is a really good block to make sure your 1/4 inch seam allowance is right on top, and I really had a lot of fun making it. Just one option I want to talk about right now also is that you can do these layers the same color or the same fabric even. So you could have two yellows, two greens, two grays, but I did mine scrappy. I always like to add in more fabrics whenever I can. Okay, let's talk about the log cabin block. As I mentioned when I shared this before it was quilted, it was just really fun to use all of these different prints from our Emma collection for the block. And I love how Val did something just a little bit different in the dark rectangles than from what she did in the light rectangles and this dark square. But so yeah, she did something completely different for our center square, and then she did these little loops kind of on a vine that are in all of these prints. And then in the light print section, I love how she just did the swirls. So just a really, really fun option. I'm going to show Chelsi's also. Here is Chelsi's block, and she didn't use quite as many fabrics as I did. You know, she has a more limited color palette for this Christmas quilt, but she still made it really scrappy, and I think it's super cute, and Marion's all over quilting pattern just really shows itself well on the log cabin block.
Okay, so this is the Friendship Star block, and it is my alternate block for the quilt. I opted actually not to do the hexes in the quilt block, and I thought I'll create this alternate block just in case you don't want to do the hexes, or maybe there's another quilt block that you don't want to do that you want to put the Friendship Star block in place of. And I really love how this turned out. I think it's so fun. So you're making 4 friendship star blocks, and once you sew all these 4 together, it makes the final block. And originally, I was just going to do a low volume background on these, and I thought, no, why not use more prints from the collection? So that was kind of fun for me to do this, and I think it turned out really, really cute. I love these blocks. I think they turned out good. Let me flip it over real quick. Super simple. You're sewing these together as 9 patches, and then you're gonna sew the final 9 patches together. And as you can see, you're just pressing one way when you sew these 2 together. You press the opposite way when you sew these together. And then I just pressed one way when I sewed the final 4 blocks into the final block together, and it turned out pretty good. The block lays nice and flat. Make sure you try not and lose those points on these cute stars right here. And that's it for my alternate friendship star block.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Chelsi's quilted friendship star block. I love, love, love what she did by kind of using darker backgrounds for her friendship stars. I didn't even think of that when I was sewing mine, and when I saw hers, I just really, really loved what she did. And I love how she put the 2 stripes together. It's just really, really a fun block. And now I'm going to peel her quilt block. I've got mine right underneath, and show you my friendship stars. Okay, and here you go. Here's my friendship star block. And I did do one thing a little bit different from Chelsi's that you'll notice. I used a contrasting print in the center of my stars. And with the gray, you can really see the contrast, and with the blue. With the red, not so much, but it is a different red print. And then I loved putting that stripe center and using the daisies on the outside. And all of my background fabrics are the same. I use the same fabric for all 4 sections, and so they're just kind of floating. So lots of fun options that you have for making this block in your own quilt. Okay, so that's it for week 11. You've got the log cabin block and the friendship star block, and they're both super fun, both great blocks to use your scraps. And we do have the PDF pattern available on the blog, and if you still need the book, we have links to purchase that as well. And we'll be back next week with the finishing instructions for this sampler. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.